In today's episode, we are talking to the energetic, wise, and wildly creative Naghieli, originally from Venezuela, with her second heart home in Barcelona, and now rooted in her third home, Eindhoven. Naghieli is a new mama, a powerful voice in the feminist group here in Eindhoven, and someone whose energy you just feel. She's been a client of both me, Juliana, and Anna. I had the joy of supporting her as her birth doula and Anna as her lactation consultant. I witnessed her incredible home birth, and trust me, the way she shares her story, her enthusiasm is contagious in the best way. You're in for an episode full of warmth, wisdom, and quite a few wow, I needed to hear these moments. Let's dive in. Hi, Naghieli. Welcome here.
Welcome.
Hi. Hi, thank you for having me. This is really exciting.
Is it your first time on the podcast?
We used to have a podcast in the Wave, the feminist group in Eindhoven.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I had one. I really enjoy it. I'm a chatty person.
Yes, you are. I'm just wondering, which topic do you want to start with?
we can start. We can start with the birth, with the delivery, because I think from there we will start discussing some details that are related.
When we started working together, we had a chat about where would you like to give birth, and you were like, "I'm from Venezuela. Of course, I'm going to give birth in the hospital." So that's how we started our work together. But it ended up clearly somewhere else.
I think I would like to start even before that because the process to find you was really atypical. And also, as an expat, the process when you get pregnant, when you find out that you are pregnant in a different country that you don't know anything. Like when I don't know if everybody's like that, but when we start trying, I didn't research right away how was the system, how was everything. So when you find out, it's like, now what? Like I don't even know what to do. Like, should I call the GP? Like, so I was Googling, and one of the first things I did, and is like as an expat that has lived in different countries, this is my uh, go to when I moved with a different city or when I start a different process, path, whatever, is social media, start researching groups, Facebook groups, hashtags, and this kind of stuff. So I can start like looking for a community, so looking
Yeah.
for people. And and the first things I did was, of course, like the midwife, like pick my midwife and stuff, but also search for Facebook groups, mothers in Eindhoven, like expat moms in Eindhoven, like this kind of stuff. And in one of
Pregnant in
those
the
groups,
Netherlands.
pregnancy in the Netherlands, and one of those groups, you were doing your marketing research for
Yeah.
your business, and you offered a massage. Uh, in exchange for a quick chat, and I didn't know what was a doula. you know, I was like, this is the same as a midwife. It's a different word in English. It's a different word. It's synonymous, right? So I went with no expectations, and actually, I didn't consider anything that was extra for me. It was like, yeah, it's the midwife is enough, blah blah blah. But then after our conversation, I was like, oh, this is interesting. My mom told me, like, you should consider because I won't be there and someone to support you as a couple will be nice. We discussed, and it was like, yeah, uh, it would be nice to go through the process with your guidance. And yeah,
So
it was,
thank you, mom, for pushing you.
yeah. But it was the best thing we could do. Like, And now, yeah, and now we can talk about. I wanted to give that introduction because it's not easy to navigate all the options that you have as a pregnant woman in the Netherlands, and sometimes because of the lack of information, you don't know you have these options. You don't know you have these people that can support you and can help you to have a better experience. I don't know if my experience will be like if the decision by then was not to have you. I don't know what would be the outcome. But
Mhm.
for me, right now, after all that happened, I was like, this is the best decision ever. And I don't think people know that these
Yeah.
are options for them.
I think it's really important that you started with it because indeed a lot of people don't know what doulas
Yeah,
do, what they can mean, and it's like not necessary or something that you really physically need, but afterwards you realize that you really need that person in your life. Yeah.
totally,
So I
totally.
remember when you were like yeah, here, and then telling me, yeah, you know what, I was thinking about this doula thing, and like, okay, there we go, let's talk. Yeah, so it's really important to make ourselves visible
Yeah.
so people know that they really need it.
You weren't selling yourself when you contacted me. You were doing your research and stuff, and I was you asked me, do you know what is a doula? And it's like, I think it's the same as a midwife. And it's like, no. And it was like, oh, this is cool. So yeah, that was a process for me. Was a yeah, a relief, like, oh, we will have the support, like an extra support is always good. And I know that I'm keep saying as an expat, but it's really something that condition you. Is something that you kind of feel alone, and alone, and also like I am a control freak, and you already know that, of course. But but for me, the fact that I didn't have everything in control, and I didn't know everything, all the options, all the outcomes that could happen, for me was like, oh my god, I. It was an extra layer of anxiety that I didn't need for my pregnancy. So having you was a okay. I can relax a little bit because she will guide me. If I have any doubt or whatever, I can write to her, and it will be fine. Even the day of the delivery, if something happens, I can ask her, and she will be for me there for me. So this is and I didn't expect um yeah, what you said, like that drastic change uh, that I had in myself during our process, as you mentioned it. Yeah, I'm Venezuelan, and in Venezuela you don't give birth at home. That's crazy. That's just for crazy hippie people, like it's not something that you even consider, and I remember we were in one of our sessions, uh, and every time you mention it, or even in the midwife practice, they mention it. I was like, defensive, like, no, 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 that's not for me. Don't even mention, like, don't even mention it. I don't care because I won't do it, like, and and of course you are
Yeah, I didn't
also
even dare to
surrounded.
mention it at
Yeah.
one point. I was like, yeah, it has to be your process, yeah, it's just your decision. But then I remember that there was one session when your partner, Danny, did ask it, and I just told him straight away, I love you.
Yeah, I remember the first time you asked me, like, really subtle, like, have you considered home birth? And I went, no, no, that's crazy. And you just, yeah, okay, perfect, no worries, hospital it is, whatever. But then when my husband mentioned it, because uh, I was like, I don't want intervention. I want to do everything in my own time. I don't want anyone to rush me. I don't want people that I don't know in the room. I want the less people possible. I don't want them to talk to me. I don't want to touch me. Like this, all things. And my husband was like, huh, all these problems will disappear if we have a home delivery, right? And it was like, yeah, but I'm Venezuelan and I'm not doing it. But then that idea in my head started to grow. And I think the next session we told you, like, okay, I think we decided to go for a
Yeah.
home birth. And I was so nervous. Like, every time I said it, like to the midwife, to you, I was like, oh my God, am I doing the right decision, like the correct thing? Is this the right decision? And I was so anxious. I don't know, maybe I will change my mind the last minute, like I don't know. But then I started to love the idea. Like, I started to feel excited
Yeah.
about it. And that was a different journey, because when you start researching and like listening to like positive home birth stories, you get inspired, and you feel like, first, I think, as women, if we are not really into birth, or you don't see people giving birth, you are not surrounded by stories in general. Of course, the algorithm, if you start looking, of course you will have a thousand stories in social media. But in general, as a young woman, you don't have that. So you don't know how it is. You just listen to one person that say, oh, epidural is the best. You're crazy if you don't use epidural. You're crazy if you don't go to the
Yeah, and it
hospital.
has no
And
risks and it worked for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. And it's not even that. It's even like judging the people that don't have it. So
Mm.
like the people that don't use epidural and stuff, is like, no, that the people is crazy, it's too painful, it's the worst, blah blah blah. So you grow up with that, in my case with my
Mhm.
culture. So you don't think you can do it differently. But then,
Yeah.
if you decide to research a little bit, uh, you start to believe, like, okay, my body can do this. My body is
Mhm.
designed to give birth my baby, because I created my baby. So it doesn't make any sense that a body create a baby and can't deliver it. It doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense. It was a process, right? I was like, oh, maybe I want a natural birth in the hospital. Then we were like, okay, I heard that it's better if I go in my bubble and nobody talks to me, and nobody, so I don't want anyone. And then it's like, okay, home birth is actually the best way to be in your bubble and be a mammal. And
Yeah.
yeah, and give birth like an animal, because we're animals, and this is the most primal thing and wild thing that we will ever do. um so it's like a process, right? And I think
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
key is information.
Mhm.
Information, you need to be informed. If after you have all the information, you still want to go to the hospital and everything, perfect, it's great. But you need to actually be open to know that part of you that is really a mammal,
Yeah.
and trust your body, because that's
Yeah.
That's what
another
I also
thing.
always say, that it's okay if you make a decision, but if you have to make the decision based on knowledge and not on fear.
Yeah.
Informed, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know people that trust more in the doctors than in themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, no, you are feeling everything. You are the one that knows more about your body.
So, can you take us through your like preparation process for birth?
Yeah. As I said, a social media freak, and when I start with a topic, I start researching a lot, trying to, of course, books as well. But in my case, the books were more for the brain of a mother, right? um, that was more into motherhood and these topics. But for birth, I started to follow on social media a lot of midwives, doulas, um, because this is another thing you need to I really like social media, but that there is a lot of garbage in social media, so you really need to research, and that's why I call it research, because I go for people, like I enter into their websites, I see if they have certifications for that, and then I start following their content. And of course there are different styles, different countries as well. There is a lot of material from US, for example, a lot of doulas from US, but it's completely different than from Europe. Not completely, but they have different things. So I try to follow like the whole spectrum, right? Like different styles, different people. So that was the first step, was like researching for doulas and midwives. And in the midwife practice we have different sessions, right? They give you a book, like a little book with all the information. So what I did was go deeper in each chapter. I check the book and say, okay, this is the next chapter. What is not clear for me in this, or what is so I research a little bit. Oh, and also of course the process with Juliana in parallel, that was also a lot of information and preparation. um, but in parallel of that, it was a process with myself. I heard an influencer, she said that, oh, romanticizing motherhood intentionally, right? Like intentionally romanticizing. And I think I had a little bit of that. Like I decided to love my body, for example. I was always trying to look fit before my pregnancy, and that was really important for me. And when I was a little bit overweight, I felt really bad with myself and this kind of stuff. So when I found out that I was pregnant, I had a conversation with my husband, and I told him like, "Hey, this is happening, and it's scary and overwhelming. And one of the things that it seems silly, but it's not, is my body. I want you to know that this is a really sensitive topic for me, and I want you to be sensitive. I want you to know that you cannot comment about my body and about my weight during the pregnancy, because you will really hurt me.
Mm.
And I want you to know that, because I know it's not obvious." And he was like, "Of course it's obvious, I won't call you fat, blah blah." He was like outraged, like, "How dare you, I won't call you fat." And he's like, "Yes, not really, but maybe you can, I don't know, a joke, whatever. So I really 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 want you to know that this
Yeah.
is sensitive, like really really sensitive for me." And this was the best decision ever, because when I communicated him this, he switched his mindset, and he was all the time like, "Oh, you look so beautiful. Oh, I love your belly. I love your body, pregnant." And I was like, "I love it too." And I fell in love with my pregnant body. And actually, I cried a little bit after I gave birth, because I lost my belly really fast. Of course, I still have belly, but I was prepared because I researched. I was like, I will have a belly, like 6 months belly for a year, like the worst case scenario. I always do that, right? And in 3 weeks, my belly was almost gone. And I remember myself in the shower, and I looked my belly, I looked my body, and I was like, oh my God, I missed it. And it was a really beautiful moment, because I took the opportunity to thank my body, because I know
Mm.
it was a lot. Um, But it was because I communicated to my husband and I made the decision to accept my body from the beginning because I was aware of the problems that I had with my self image. That changed completely the experience.
So
That's
beautiful.
amazing. Yeah.
Hmm. So I think the mindset, it's really important in general. In the
Yeah.
case of the body, of course. In the case of the delivery, for sure. And I think if you see the delivery as a big moment with your baby and your partner, that's different than you alone giving birth. That's
Hmm.
not
Mm.
that's not it. That's not
Yeah.
it. And I think there are, because I'm a feminist, I follow a lot of different content, right? And there are some like, you cannot say you gave birth if you are a man. You cannot say you are pregnant if you're a man. And it's like, yeah, of course, because I gave birth and I'm pregnant. But for me, my partner was really was my rock, and I communicated to him again when I decided to go like natural and stuff. I told him like, hey, this is something that we will do together. I want to give birth with your help. And I started like it's I always call it brainwash because I was like showing him videos like, hey, this is look how this partner is with the wife, and let's practice this and this. And I started like saving videos of different postures with the partner
Hmm.
during labor, and we put in the agenda, I don't know, one time per week, like practice. And then we after dinner we tried some postures. It's like, oh, I will do this and I will do that, and it was like a rehearsal. We never, spoiler alert, we never done anything, but in the during the labor is the completely different story, like. But for us, mentally, it was like, okay, we are preparing, and he was preparing himself to be present, to be
Yeah.
part of it physically. It's not
Hmm.
only like take my hand and say, oh, you can do this, baby. No, 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 no. You will come with me and move with me and grab me here and grab me there. And I'm counting on you because my mother is not here, and that's why I didn't want my mother here,
Mm.
because I respect a lot people that needs their mom there, and of course, is my mom is my best friend. I love her so much, and but precisely because we are really close, I didn't want her to take over the place of my husband. And I
Hmm.
know it sounds like it sounds harsh, but it really is. Of course, you can do both, but I didn't think I could do both because in that moment I wanted to be focused on my husband. I wanted to him to be in my bubble,
Hmm.
and three people in the bubble was too much. So it was my decision, and it wasn't easy, not for me, not for her. For my mom was really painful because she
Yeah.
really wanted to be there. And traditionally is oh, you give birth with women around this. Yes, of course. But for me, was a really intimate process with my husband.
Yeah,
And that
with your
was
new
my way.
family.
Mhm. That was my way to to prepare us for what we are living now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like we are a team,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
we have each other, and that's it. We are expats. We don't have
Hmm.
anyone else.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was also part of the process with my husband, like
Nice.
actively. And of
Yeah.
course you can say, oh, I don't want to tell him anything, he should research. Yes, yeah, okay. But the reality is that it's your body, you are the
Yeah.
one it's changing. For him, it's like still like processing, like even when the baby is there, it's like, oh my god. So I think we have to be active, like actively ask for whatever we expect. This is
Mhm.
really important. And
Mhm.
also communicate what
Yeah.
you want and what you feel, what you
Mhm.
think you will feel. Like, I always, when I had these hormone things and I was like, I don't know, maybe in a bad mood, I was like, today I'm in a bad mood, or today I'm sad. I told him, like, hey, this can happen. I can be mad at you without any reason. I can cry as like crazy without any reason, and I want you to be prepared. And he was like, you are not like that, you are really emotionally intelligent. And he's like, yeah, but hormones are a bitch. Like it's I actually told him before. And then when it happened, he was like, at the beginning was like, oh my god, because I don't cry that much, in general. So with the pregnancy and also postpartum, I cried like I never cried without, the mask, uh, and I didn't want to project strength, because I don't
Mhm.
cry because of that. I'm like, no, I can handle it.
Mhm.
With the postpartum and the pregnancy hormones, is like, no, you're gonna cry like a baby, like really, really hard. And my husband was like, the first time in 8 years that he saw me cry like that, and I was like,
Mhm.
but then, because he knew that it was part of the process, he was like, oh, you want to cry, come and cry, come here. And I was like, "Ah!" Without any reason. And that
Mhm.
was part of the process, because I communicated,
Yeah.
because I worked with him. So the process is really important, that you communicate with the people that is around you, uh,
Mhm.
because everybody knows the hormones and whatever, but not really, not
Yeah.
really. And until you live it, you don't realize how it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it so much that if it happens, like I think these hormones can be called as truth hormones, or like the real feelings that you don't want to please anyone. You just feel
Mm,
whatever you feel throughout your pregnancy, also during birth. Like sometimes I hear from my clients, I'm sorry if I will be mean or if I say something, but I know from the hormones that because of the hormones I might say something, and no, no, not at all. I'm really happy if they can communicate, they can articulate
mhm.
whatever feels right and what not. Like
Mhm.
I've seen husbands were sent away or the partner was not even allowed to look at her at one point. And yeah, it was also like that we were talking quietly during a contraction at the client, and she was like, shh, like, oh, okay. Obvious. And I'm so happy if they can give us the sign and communicate their needs.
Yeah. Yeah. That's. I think you're setting yourself up so beautifully for parenthood. It's really important to establish that really good communication, practice it during pregnancy, use it during birth, and then that's like into parenthood. You and your partner have to communicate so much. Um, not just in the postpartum period, but like for the rest of
The
life.
life. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's communication just becomes so much more important as parents.
Hmm.
So yeah, recognizing that early on and practicing it and really establishing that good foundation is fantastic.
Hmm. And one of the things that I thought about when I started like communicating with him and involve him in
Hmm.
everything was because I'm a feminist, and I was a feminist before coming to Eindhoven. But when I started to collaborate and to be part of the Wave Eindhoven, which is this feminist group, you start knowing more and feel more rage, right? It's really frustrating in general. So
Hmm.
motherhood is not the exception. And for me, it was like, I really, really want to do things differently. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be everything on my shoulder. Like, I don't have to have everything on my shoulders. And how can I do this? Because right now, yes, I was looking for different models of couples or parents. But it's not easy because it's not common, and everybody is talking about mental load, for example. These kind of topics are really trendy. But for partners, I can say, okay, I have some women that I admire that are doing things properly, right? As mothers, right? But for partners, they don't have many role models in general. And actually, their parents, their fathers, are the traditional ones that weren't there or not properly how
Mhm.
we want. So for me, was like first realize that we had to create something from scratch. We didn't
Mhm.
have a role model.
Mhm.
We were creating our own model,
Yeah.
Mm.
and that was hard because I was like, how can I, without bossing him around, how can
Mhm.
I get him involved and interested in what is happening with my body or with the delivery? And because in all societies, it's like, this is for women. This is for women. And this is your body. You will know. And you ask the husband the difference between epidural and whatever, and they don't know or they don't even care, right? Like it's like, ah, yeah, whatever she wants. um and I was like, no, I want you to know and care. Not
Yeah.
only know, care. And have your own opinion.
Yeah.
So that was a process, and it was a process for me as well, to because I could say, yeah, he should have the interest, period, whatever.
Mhm.
But it's not easy because society is what it is, and we are creating a model from scratch. So yeah, it was a process. So
Yeah.
I'm
And
saying
because you
this
involved him, that was the reason he could help you.
exactly,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because he
and suggest
completely
home
tuned
delivery
in. He could completely understand you, your wishes, and has have his own thoughts. And yeah, he
and
was just a part of
questions,
it.
because
Yeah.
he is a scientist. So he was like, but wait, why is this like this and this, and what are the papers that support this? It was, oh, come on, whatever. So, but I'm saying this because I have a friend that is pregnant right now, and I was telling her like, yeah, I research a lot. If you want, I can send you some info that was interesting for me. And I was telling her that I used to send to my husband this information, but let's be honest, he won't read all of it. Probably you will have to have like a like bullet points or whatever is important to you. Show it to him. Oh, that's nice because I'm really frustrated with my partner right now. I send him stuff and he's not, like taking it. And I was like, their process is completely different. You are completely immersed in the pregnancy world. For them, it's like, yeah, they are there, but the process is more slower. So I'm saying this because it's an effort, and sometimes we feel that the effort is like more for us than for them because we have to research for us and also transmit the information to them and try to get them interested and whatever. But no, I know it sounds weird, but at some point they will take it, and then it will
Yeah.
be amazing. It's just an effort at the beginning to get it start, and then it's like a team, and he will have the same information as you, and it's like great. It's a challenge, I know, and as a feminist, is because I don't want to give you the information. You should go for it, but the society is what it is, and right now we're transitioning.
Yeah.
I'm sure that some husbands in 10 years, or for my daughter, there will be different because they will have people like Danny, my husband, as a role model.
Yep.
But we are the generation of the change, which is the most painful one. Yeah? It's
Yeah.
complicated.
Yes, it is complicated, but it's so worth it. So put the effort in because it will pay off. Honestly, I felt so happy and motivated listening back to this episode. I've heard it a few times while editing. Naghieli is just so powerful to listen to, and it was a really empowering episode. Speaking of empowering, don't forget to come find us on Instagram. Anna's page is Empowered Birth Services with dot in between, and mine is Juliana_Ferron. Send us a quick DM and let us know what was your biggest takeaway of this episode today. Have a lovely rest of your day, and we will see you in part 2.